Shamanic, energy healing medicine. In the Sacred Light Community Nightcap Lounge, we are exploring shamanism.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Grand day, everybody. Welcome in to the Sacred Light Community Nightcap here at the Community Nightcap Lounge. I, your host, Marcus Crystolite. I am here tonight to explore shamanism and the shamanic realm of healing and energy. So tonight we will be exploring shamanism and shamanic ways of holistically healing. And we will be joined by a wonderful sacred guest. He is a good brother of mine here local in Ohio. He is a by-hand shamanic drum maker, as well as a shamanic Reiki practitioner, as well as a well-opened channel medium for spirit guides and other wonderful beings of light. So our sacred guest tonight will be Chuck Wilson of Wakan drums, and he'll be joining us to talk about shamanism, any of his experiences that he has had regarding shamanic energy healing, as well as anything else upon his shamanic path. And along with that, you guys will have the opportunity to ask any live questions, as it's a live Q&A that is available. And we will also be exploring his drums, the process of how he makes his drums, as well as a little bit of drum healing medicine as well. So that is what is going to be going on tonight in the NiGhT. Thank you all for tapping in, whether it's here live or in the future on the YouTube version. Welcome in to everybody, and welcome in my wonderful queen, Holistic Butterfly. Alright, so before we have our guests join us tonight on the NiGhT, I'm going to briefly touch on a little bit about what shamanic healing is and what the shamanic realms are. And I'd just like to remind everybody to hydrate well and have clean water. There are many different available water systems that you can get, including shungite water at home. And that's something I've done for about 4 to 5 years, and can actually give you the wisdom and the steps on how to create your own shungite water at home. Just comment below whether this is live or in the YouTube, and I will gladly give you instructions on how you can make your own shungite water. Alright, so the shamanic realms of life. What are the shamanic realms, you ask, Marcus? Well, to give you my translation through my filter, through my human being, of what the shamanic realms are. Well, it's a very multidimensional, multifaceted type of thing. There's not really a one-size-fits-all on how we could describe shamanic realms or shamanic healing. But what we can do is kind of correlate it to other types of healing and other types of concepts that we're familiar with. So a couple of those concepts that I'd like to tie in for you all tonight here in the NiGhT Lounge, to give you a deeper understanding and then potentially an overstanding of what the shamanic realms are and what shamanic healing is. So you can tie in the shamanic realms with a few different other concepts that we see in the universe. One of those concepts being the subconscious mind or the unconscious world. The shamanic realms could also be tied into the Akashic records. And the shamanic realms could also be tied into our timelines, also known as the fourth dimension as well. So when you think about when we're doing a shamanic healing and you hear that the shaman is crossing over to the spirit realm or crossing over to the other side, so the spirit realm or the other side is the fourth dimensional vibrational realm. And when they cross over, so to say, into that vibrational realm, and may we remember this crossing over is not a physical crossing over. This is a mental and spiritual crossing over, as is all mental in this universe. You go into the Hermetic principles, the law of mentalism. All is mental. So mentally, we are putting a trajectory out, and then projecting our spiritual energy and our conscious awareness into a specific time and space. And these time and spaces are all mental that we can access, as all is present now. So when we step into the Akashic records, we step into our timelines, into the shamanic realms, which you can also access directly through the Soul Star chakra. This is where you're able to do inner child healing. You're able to do past life regression healing. And you're also able to reclaim your energy. Reclaim part of your fractioned parts from different parts of timelines due to traumatic experiences. It's also sort of kind of like a hypnosis deal when you go into a deep shamanic healing. In hypnosis, you kind of go into your subconscious mind, you go into your past, you go into your memories, you go into the patterns. And this is also an access point, shamanic healing that is, that can help lead us into that bridge of the unconscious or the subconscious mind. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on what shamanic healing was, and also ceremony. Ceremony is done in many beautiful ways, whether it's through plant medicine, whether it's through the elements, whether it's through nature, or just ceremony of the self. Namaste. All right. So, we're going to go ahead and drums. Our wonderful shamanic brother.
Imagine the whispers of an ancient civilization, the allure of the Great Pyramids, and the enigmatic gaze of the Sphinx. Welcome to the Holistic Healing Retreat in Egypt from April 19th to the 23rd. Experience the tranquility of guided meditation sessions designed to sync your breath with the rhythm of the universe. Delight in the bounty of nature with plant-based meals that nourish the body and soul. Indulge in the luxury of your accommodations, a haven of peace amidst the bustling bazaar. Immerse yourself in the wisdom of the ages and the healing power of the present. Egypt beckons, an oasis of restoration and rejuvenation. Discover the untapped potential within you at this unforgettable retreat. The journey of a lifetime awaits.
If you would like to embark upon an unforgettable journey to Egypt and unlock the secrets within, while bringing balance and holistic healing to the mind, body, and soul. Join us for the Holistic Healing in Egypt retreat in Cairo, Egypt, April 19th to the 23rd, at the price of $1,777 USD, 5 days and 4 nights. Contact either myself, Marcus Crystolite, or my wonderful partner, Holistic Butterfly. And you can reserve your spot today. Wholeness and balance, love.
Oh, there's inner alchemy. How are you?
Let me see something here. I'm going to pull it up laptop, see if I
Pardon?
can see you. 'Cause if I can see you, then I'll just keep rolling with it. If I can see you on my laptop. And I can see on my laptop. Okay. All right. Technical difficulties, everybody. But welcome in to the nightcap.
You can't
All
see
right.
me, huh?
So I can't see you on my phone. For some reason, my phone is still, the whole entire screen is me.
Okay.
So I have you on my laptop over here, so I can see you over here. So we can still do it.
Hey,
Have a good time.
technology is wonderful, isn't it? I mean, I remember the first computers came out, for God's sakes, and now look what we're doing. Video it must be the satellites that we're going through, so that's all right. Hey, Inner Alchemy, how are you? I remember you quite well. Francine. Yeah, I was hoping maybe you'd be on. I was kind of wondering how your drums are doing. And she was on a Zoom interview on the Shaman's Directory one, Francine. And she had some real interesting times. It was pretty cool. Anyway, let's go.
All right. Wow. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all for joining. We are here in the SaCrEd Light Community Nightcap. And my name is Marcus. I also go by Crystal Light, for all of you out there that don't know me yet. And I just want to say welcome and many blessings and much love to all of you that are here for the first time. I go live quite often, and I hold just wonderful, holistic, conscious energy healing spaces. And they're intended to be educational as well as practice-based, hands-on, and demonstrative. So with that being said, the primary reason why I hold these spaces as, the founder of SaCrEd Light is I wanted to bridge community. And with bridging community, I wanted to be able to provide easier access for everybody to be able to connect on a human level, to share wisdom and experiences that we go through in our journeys, as well as to be able to provide tools for each other for a holistic, conscious everyday life. That being said, I have a podcast, I have shows that I've edited and produced on my YouTube channel, SaCrEd Light Healing and Wellness, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner, crystal healer. I do education on chakras and a few other things as well. So that's a little bit about who I am and the intentions behind these spaces and why we're here tonight. And tonight we have a wonderful sacred guest. He is a divine shamanic brother of mine, and he's local here in Ohio. I'm located in Ohio, and Chuck Wilson is a shamanic drum maker as well as a shamanic Reiki practitioner, and just also a wonderful brother and medium of the spirit realm and this physical realm. Welcome to the nightcap, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you tonight?
I'm good. It's kind of a busy day. I was down the shop doing a lot of laser burning on some of the drums that I've got finally back into production. And so I've got a series of the full multi-drums. I'm making a bunch of plates for those. And then I've got some of the steam bend drums that I'm starting to work on those, getting some new ones. This is one that a lady, a friend of mine up in Dayton, her name's Rusty Hayden, and I journeyed her on your show, that's right, a couple of months ago, and she came back in and looked me up and said, Spirit said I should call you because I'd like to offer to put all my artwork on your drums. And that was spectacular. So we've met, and I've taken her drums, and she's done some just beautiful work. And so, yeah, it's been kind of a busy day, but doing all right.
Wonderful. Glad to hear it. And, wow, I know Rusty myself personally as well. And what a story, you know. I'd actually like to touch on the story a little bit if you would like to journey with me on the story of
Which
how
story?
this really started. How this really started and how we all connected, all three of us.
Oh,
You know, it was really unexpected, you know. So, you know, I have a community that I host. It's called the Sacred Kingdom, and I met Chuck. Man, we met spring of last year at the Reiki Plus fair.
that was one of the big Friday Reiki meetings, and a lot of people show there, but there's kind of a core group that goes. I'm part of that. But yeah, that's where we met.
Yep. So we met there, and I met Rusty.
It was kind of funny when you came through the door. For some reason, I looked at you and I said, I think I'm going to talk to you. And you want to see a drum? I said, here, hold this one. You know, and we started talking, and we must have spent an hour and a half just over on the side in the room. I had the sacred, my story stick, the flute, the drums, and you were really connected extremely well. And I was really getting a kick out of it because spirits were there talking to you and coming up with different ideas for you. And Sandy would come in and other people would come in, and I would just be smirking because I was enjoying it so much because there was such a center of conversation between the spirits and yourself and me. And it was kind of, you were really surprised. It wasn't something that you had expected to walk into. And all of a sudden, for the next hour or so, we were having some good meetings with spirit folks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Man, I want to share my perspective of that moment because, that was, you know, it ended up being literally like an hour of us sitting together within our own little portal on the side of the inside of the house where everybody else was like in the kitchen and the living room. And then we were just in this little portal over here in the room. And nobody said a word to us. Nobody looked at us for that whole entire hour. And we were just traveling with the drum.
We were in the other room working on people Reiki-wise and walking around, but we were kind of sitting in the middle of the room for a while over in the other room. Just, you know, a whole bunch of spirits. We were just there, and nobody would come up. They left us alone, totally. And I know why, because they kind of sense there's some interesting interdimensional conversation going on. It's pretty cool. I really liked it.
So I held the first drum. The first drum was, I think, Rainbow Serpent.
Rainbow
right?
Goddess. That's
Rainbow
the Navajo Hope. Yeah.
Yep, that was the first one. And I remember I just felt, so I held it like up to my chest, my stomach, basically hugging it. And I remember I just felt instantly this raising of my vital energy all the way up to my crown. And then I just felt mental astral travel. And then I could feel the presence of whatever type of guide was connected to that drum. And I could hear just like little faints, just languages of some sort that just made sense to me telepathically. And then I came back. And then we rotated drums. We had like the moose drum, I believe. We had bear. And it's amazing the different experiences of energies that you get from each specific drum. It's really interesting. Some drums are more for grounding and connecting to the earth. Some are more for kind of like warrior energy. And when we say warrior as in like metaphysical, you know, doing shadow work, clearing out your lower demons type of work. Oh, welcome in, Cosmic Spirit, a wonderful sister that makes conscious hip-hop music here local in Ohio. For anybody that is into conscious rap, conscious hip-hop, give Cosmic Spirit a follow here in Ohio. She is a divine sister that dedicates herself to high vibrational, positive momentum music that inspires and brings hope to the collective. Welcome in, sister. So yeah, we're just talking about the shamanic drums that Chuck Wilson makes by hand, our guest here tonight, and welcome into everybody else that's still here. So yeah, it's really interesting feeling the different intentional energies with each drum and the different guys you can connect with. And I'd actually like to hand over to you, Chuck, if you would like to share any experiences and testimonies regarding your experiences with the drums, whether it's from your own self or when those festivals and had other people hold them, or any of your other experiences where you handed your drums to wonderful souls to experience.
Yeah, sure. It's been a lot. It's been about 5 years. Actually, 5 years last month was when I had was given the sacred, one of the 7 sacred ceremonies of Sioux, and it was the keeping of a soul ceremony. And that was given for my late partner, Sandy, and she was shamanic also. But bottom line, little short story was that Sandy passed. A couple months later, she came right back and said, buddy, we got stuff to do. You got to figure out how to make these drums. That's her spirit coming in. And so from that point on, I had to figure out how to make these drums. So there's been a lot of interesting things that I found with all of this. And I think a lot of people get quite surprised because in the process of making the drums, at various stages, there's one stage that I go through where I'm gluing everything up, and I actually formally call in all the people that are part of the drum, the spirits, I have a whole long list of the ones that work with me that I know of, and I ask them to come in. And I also ask all of the spirit guides for the future keepers of these drums, for as long as the drum is on the earth, to please be aware and come into it. And that means anybody that can hear the drum, hold the drum, work with the drum, be a drum's keeper, or see the drum. So there's a lot of people's guides that are in the room, and many times I can't talk because I can feel them. I get tears, and it's very energetic. But what I found, I've kind of refined my vision of what's going on. There's an entity that comes into the drum itself. This one right here, it's a multi-wood drum, and you can kind of see it a little bit better, but you can see it really good out on my website. But these drums, when they're made, there's kind of like a key specific entity that comes in, and that's the drum's entity. I'll give you a good example. There's a lady down in Texas that I sent a drum to, 3 or 4 months ago. It's a 20-inch drum, very beautiful one. And she was on that Zoom call that Francine was on. I think she's still on. But she called and said, yep, they're talking to me. I want one of those drums. Turned out the drum that she got, I asked her who it was, because I always ask people what's the drum's name, who is it, and everything like that. But she shared with me that drum told her that her name was Isvara, I-S-V-A-R-A. And I looked it up because it sounded interesting. That drum is an ancient entity that worked with Shiva as a very high level entity. And it has, when you look that name up, what that particular spirit was doing with Shiva and all the other ones back then is phenomenal. And it's an example, though, of sometimes the power of a particular entity that comes in. And I have another drum here. It's going out west, maybe in a month or so, to a specific family group. I'll be kind of quiet about that right now. But it was a drum that I made 2 years ago. It's a beautiful drum. And I was going to send it to somebody else in New Jersey. It was a shaman lady, and it had a horsehair hide on it, and it's made out of maple, or no, walnut. It's the wood, so it's a solid walnut. You know, all different layers and everything like that. Well, short story is that the hide stretched so much that it kind of broke the pins, took the hide off, and I kept thinking, I've got to put something else, I'll still send it to her. I didn't, and it just kept going on. I'm not going to send it to her. Well, this family that I'm sending this thing to, a friend of mine, Kathy Conley, and she's an extraordinary shaman. She came over a week or two ago, and we were working on some stuff. So I always give people drums. Say, here, hold that. What do you think? You know, who is it? She held this one, got a tremendous burst of electricity, but then the entity in it told her that it was an aunt, A-U-N-T, of one of the family members that the drum's going to, you know, spirit. And it's like the drum told Kathy that it knew where it was going to go, so it went into this drum when it was made. She knew it wasn't going to go to New Jersey. She knew it was going out to South Dakota, and so she waited. So I run into experiences like that, and it's just amazing to me. I haven't really run into that in any. I'm kind of new with, you know, with the drum thing because I never did it before. But I've had so many people, they hold them, and you know, boom, it's like, wow, this is this one, or they call the next one this different entity. So they're entities, but they're also gateways. They're gateways for all these different spirits to come through and work with somebody or talk to somebody or the ancestors. And that's their main purpose, is to be this gateway that somebody just holds. They don't have to count on anybody to be the middleman, or to, you know, when I work with people, I just kind of give them a drum, or we do a little drum work, and they go off on a journey, and I kind of, you know, I'm there. Sometimes I see the journey, and I can kind of say, why don't you look to your left or look to your right? There might be somebody there, or I'll take them someplace. But for the most part, it's the energy. Everybody talks to them, and I'm just kind of watching, thinking, cool, you know, this is really working, and the people have an amazing time.
I can testify to that. I can definitely testify.
Yeah, they talk to you a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. I remember last time I was over at your house a couple weeks ago, and we were, FYI to everybody out there, we were actually kind of pre-phasing a YouTube channel podcast that we are going to be working on together, coming out for Chuck here, Wakan Drums. He's going to be sharing a little bit in depth with you guys his journey, his process, and what type of energy and medicine is coming through the experiences of the drums, and along with his other practices. So just FYI, just be on the lookout. That'll be coming out. There'll be promos and things like that coming out. Yeah, I was over there, and I was holding a few different drums, and they were tied to the family that we cannot mention in this time. And wow, I held one of these drums. I wish I had one drum with me right now, just to let you guys feel the energy. I held one of the drums, and I instantly went into this time and space, mentally astral travel. And I was taken to basically this big scene of a woman standing on a rock. It was like a huge rock that was basically almost like a little cliff side, so to say. And then on the other side of it was a stream of water. So it's like this big rock is kind of like a cliffside, and this older like native woman with like a native outfit on is standing on the edge of it. looking over the stream of water. Now, mind me, guys, I'm giving you guys the visualization of an experience that I had just holding one of the drums. So I'm sitting there in this journey, and I see the lady standing there with the exact drum that I'm holding in my lap. I see the exact drum.
Wow.
In another time and space, and different timeline of where it's going to be at some point in this physical realm. So the lady's standing there over the body of water with it, and she's like playing it, and she's just really like taking in the airwaves and vibrations. And that was what I experienced through my mind's eye when I held one of these latest drums at his house the other week. It's very powerful medicine, that's for sure. And you know, the experiences that you've had during Reiki sessions with them, I mean, wow. I mean, the people that have testified to saying that they've seen ray colors come off of it, different frequency rays of light.
That's been striking. It's this Reiki group. Tell everybody it's a group of about 8 or 10 people, I guess. But the older lady that runs the group has for a number of years. Her name's Gwen. Really sweet little old lady. She's about 83, I think she is. But she's very with sight. I mean, she sees the angels and the archangels and the spirits and tremendous things. And one thing that has predominated with one of my drums, or any of the drums actually, since she invited me to be part of the group about a year ago. But what she started seeing, you know, I'll be working on somebody, you know, drumming over their head and just kind of drumming over them, or the person has it on their chest. But if me or another one of the drum keepers who has a Wakan drum, they're drumming over the person. And what Gwen has been seeing is energy streams coming off of the drums, different colors, different little spotlights. And she'll get this look, and she'll just look at my drum, and I'll go, oh man, I wonder what's going on, because I don't see it. I feel some things. But there's been all this energetic flow from the gateway that the drum is into the person. And it's like I'm going to school listening to what's going on. It's been phenomenal. There's been another time, this was really cool. A lady was on the table, and she was having a spinal problem. Some of her lower vertebrae was scheduled to go in to be evaluated when surgery. She was laying on the table, and I think I asked them to put Freya, this drum, this is my bear drum, on her stomach. And Gwen's at the lady's head, and I'm kind of to the side, and I was playing one of my other drums, and she was totally surrounded by people. But what we saw, I saw it too. Gwen, all of a sudden, there's this big whoosh of energy. Gwen saw these spirit forearms, go down through Freya into the lady. And I get a vision of looking at the spinal cord of what they're working on. And I'm seeing these little sparkles of gold and lights and everything. But Gwen's like this, and she's watching the spirits working on her. And the lady, I think, went to the doctor the next day, and her pain was gone. It was some really dramatic events, but you know, I'm really happy a lot of those people can see so many things, because a lot of times I'll see things in vision, they see things just out in front of them. So anyway, that was really cool. So there's all sorts of things that happen. I just shake my head and say, thanks, friends, you know, all my spirit family. Wow. And it's become such a normal part of the day of all the folks that are around me and what I'm supposed to do and everything. So there's been all sorts of stuff that happens. Like there's a lady that came over. I'm really kind of one of her mentors. She asked me to mentor her, and she's very proficient. But did a little table work with her, and she was popping out because she can travel quite well. But I asked her to go out to the cosmos, and she was having some issues she wanted to find. And I said, why don't you ask Mr. Buddha? He might come in and talk to you, because he's talked to people that own these drums. Sure enough, Buddha sat down with her out in the cosmos, told her, you have this problem right here. You have anger retention, so you need to deal with it. She came back and told me, and I said, well, let's walk through progression. So I took her to traumatic points in her past. First one to come up to mind, go to it, and let's resolve it. And then went to the next one, the next one, the next one. And she went through a progression of maybe 5 or 6. And the very last one, every time this ball of anger got smaller and smaller and smaller, she got to the last one, and she said it was like a little ball of a marble. And she was in the North Lodge where I take people to, and there's a big fire, and she said, I just threw it in the fire, and it was gone. And all I can say is I'm just having such a reward of being able to help people like this. It's really been something. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of extraordinary things happen. So anyway, there are some things.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing all of that with us, and just being vulnerable and transparent about the type of experiences that you've had. These are very, very multi-dimensional and profound experiences, and I find it wonderful that we are able to access this stuff very naturally and very organically, and that there are wonderful tools that are out here for us.
Let me mention something too, is that these drums, they're their own drums, but I did an interview with Shaman directly last July, and Christina is here. Christina, she was on it. But one of the points I made to a lot of people is that it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all what your sacred object is to me. It can be a drumstick, it can be a stick, it can be a rock, it can be your own drum, it can be a Remo drum, it could be anything. But whatever it is that your sacred object is that you hold or you work with, it could be an emblem or a pendant, as far as I'm concerned. Because I guess what I have seen is that whatever person holds as a sacred object, their tool, their partner, it's important for them to get to a point where they really get to meet their spirit that's in their drumstick or their whatever it is that's sacred. And during that interview, we did kind of experiment. We took the whole group on a journey so they could sit and just talk to their drum. And there was quite a few stories that came out, and these were experienced healers, experienced shamans. And quite a few of them, when they came out, they had experiences for the first time, in this one gentleman, in 30 years of having his drum, that journey, the drum's entity, which was a deer or an antelope, if I remember, it came out, and they had a one-to-one conversation for the first time in 30 years. And other people had similar things, and the whole point of it was, say, hold your sacred object, meet the spirits that are there, get that bond going, and that was my interest. And it's so, it kind of transcends the classic drum class that people have in shaman's class or Reiki class or things I've been through. It's definitely a healing tool. It helps people see sometimes, and people know it's an entity. But I find that when people can the spirits actually come up and say, "Hey, I've been your drum for 2 years, and thank you." And there's this community formed. Sometimes for these people, for a lot of people, it's the first time. Or they're used to working different spirits, but this is all of a sudden a different transition. And I guess that's where I really like to work with people, is to help that step forward. I don't care what you have. Like I say, it could be an oven mitt from the oven because it was a good one. I don't know. That's my point, and that's what I really like. I like to help people have those type of experiences, because then it just adds to their spirit path and what they can do.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for being such a wonderful brother, and thank you for really dedicating yourself to this beautiful path of shamanism and service. It's really a blessing, and I'm really grateful to cross paths with you in this lifetime and be a part of this. It's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I have that funny habit of mine, which you will recall many times, that I might pick up a stick from the ground or something and say, "Here, hold that for a second. See what you feel." Most of the time, you'll see something's there, or somebody will come in and talk with you. It doesn't matter what it was, but it's like, "Here, hold this for a second and see what happens." And I love doing that with people, because there's so much surprise a lot of times when it's not something that's expected, but all of a sudden, poof, they're talking with somebody in their vision space, and everybody has a great time with that. I really like that.
So I have a question for
Sure.
you. For everybody out there that is curious, Chuck does offer drums that he hand makes, and I believe you do custom drums as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. So he also does custom drums as well. And for everybody out there that could be interested or feel a resonance with his shamanic drums, what is the process like for people that get to customize those drums? And what all do you usually put into your drums when it comes to crafting them?
Well, there's the two different types of drums. There are the drums that are, we'll start with the multi-wood drums, which have, 24, oops, sorry for you. They have a lot of different types of woods, about 24 different woods. There's a medicine wheel here. And I've experienced when people have called me and said, I'd like one of your drums, but if possible, I'd like to have these extra pieces of wood in them. I'm Cherokee, or these particular woods are very important to me. And if I'm making up the next batch of these drums, I'll include those particular requested woods into the medicine wheel when I'm gluing up the medicine wheel. So it's, there'll be 8 of those drums, but that person gets their specific drum. Or I'll put the woods into some of the body layers. And so that's one thing I do. And then also what I do is I put a lot of, there's different minerals, sands and things like that from sacred places around that go into the glue of the medicine wheel. If somebody goes down to New Zealand or something and says, I'm bringing back some sands from the beach, would you put that into the drum ring? I can put it into the drum ring. I'll glue it into the glue in between the layers. So there's a lot of those particular knickknacks. I call them knickknacks, but they're just personal things. And also there's, inside the drums themselves, there's a lot of laser engraving of spirit animals or icons, touchstones, or whatever it is. And people will tell me what it is that they want in their specific drum themselves. And I'll create it like that. So there's lots of different ways to do it. I accommodate most everything. If I can do it, it's supposed to happen, so it happens. In my opinion. Your path is, you work very well with people. You have quite a number of gifts, and why don't you share some of your gifts? It's, You know, I've seen you work with people, and you can journey out. Tell them about the light language, and because you do light language pretty well, and then the humorous times with me around when you do that, because that's always been funny.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was literally just sitting here, and as soon as you like brought it over to my direction, I just heard my guys just say light language. I was like, uh-oh, light language. I was like, all right, I guess we're doing light language live. All right then. Yeah.
You know, and I'll share with everybody is that the first time you did the light language thing for me, it was here at the house. Maybe it was over the other place.
Yep, it was your basement.
Yeah, I was in the basement. So you said, "Oh, something's coming out. Something's coming out." You know, and so I'm standing there. You know, your girlfriend, your partner's there, and I'm kind of going, "Well, okay, that's nice." So you said it, and you went into trance, and here comes this big speech, and I patiently listened to it, knowing I don't know anything was going on. And then you came back out of trance, and I kind of politely said, "You know, let's ask the spirits if they would please give me a English translation, because I know it's important, but I don't have a clue what you just told me. I would be most grateful if you could please redo this again." And you had this look on your face like, well, they're not going to, and all of a sudden you went, well, here it comes. You know?
Yeah.
How came in?
That was the first time ever that I had the light language get translated into English, because nobody's ever asked it to happen. So that was the first time somebody's asked.
I was very respectful to the spirits because they were there, and if they're going to say something to me, it's important. I really need to hear it, and it was a good message too. I mean, it was a lot of guidance. I've done it this twice now that's happened, so it's like maybe they're just getting used to me asking for translation. That was great.
That's powerful. I remember that. So yeah, we were standing in your basement. It was me, you, Kristen was there.
Yep.
My partner, Holistic Butterfly. And we were like feeling all the woods, and I remember I just felt the presence coming through. And Chuck was like, is there anything that they want to ask or anything they want to say? So then I stood there, went into like channel mode, and the light language came through at first. And then as the light language came through, I also had a what was it? Was it a necklace or something? A pendant and a necklace in my hand, and the spirits took my hand. So I'm a medium as well. For everybody out there, I'm a psychic medium naturally. So I have like automatic writing gifts. They're constantly moving my hands and like things like that because I surrender to it. But so my hand gets moved up like this, and it goes like this, and I have this pendant in my hand. Can't remember what it was. And as my hand was lifted up, I did the light language. And then after that was when Chuck asked for the translation. And I was hesitant at first because nobody's ever asked. So I was like, I didn't know if it was going to be even possible through, you know, this vessel, this avatar, or this being. And man, it came right through. The English came right through. And yeah, ever since, that's been the way that me and Chuck have been doing our light language activations together. He'll come through, and then you'll ask for a translation, and then the translation will come through. So if everybody here is open to it, and if you're open to it, Chuck, I would love to actually go ahead and do one tonight.
Yeah, let's run it. We'll be very, very grateful and thankful for the spirits that are going to touch everybody with what you're going to say. This is good. Thank you.
And would you like to utilize one of your medicine drums?
Oh you want me to give you a little beat? Okay.
Oh boy. Whoa.
Sis.
Okay, so. Oh, wonderful. You can feel it in the heart. All right, everybody. Everybody is comfortable. And I'm gonna channel some light language for all of you. And if you're not familiar yet with light language is pretty much just channeling frequencies. And when we say frequencies, we're saying like higher vibrational, potentially healing, potentially balancing, and grounding frequencies. Depends on what the intention is and what you're connecting with. But the frequencies come through, and typically they come out as non-English words or not exactly human language. So really, light language isn't about fully understanding what's being said. It's more of receiving the metaphysical frequency, receiving the energy that is being transferred. Now, you can, just like Chuck has, ask the spirit to translate it into English if you would like. But just know that in order to receive light language, it doesn't exactly have to be a language that you understand. It can just be receiving the frequency and allowing the frequency to interact with your energy field. And there's amazing miracles, amazing wonders that have taken place through many different light language activation sessions. And I myself have shared light language with many, and I've had a whole range of wonderful experiences, from people shedding tears to people laughing a lot, to heal, to people being able to clear out their chakras, clear out their energy, and people being able to activate and become more activated in their power from light language. So that's a little bit about it for all of you guys before we journey into the light language drumming journey. And Chuck is going to play a little bit of the drum. And what drum do you have over there for us tonight?
Can you hear it?
What is that? Right. Go ahead and focus inward. Close your eyes. Begin with a breath. Utuwata, Utuwata, Utuwanati, Utuwata, Usuwata, Yata, Usuwata, Utuwata, Utuwata, Isi, Yata, Utuwata, Kia, Usuwata, Yanasi, Utuwata, Iya, Usuwata, Usuwataya shi Nasotoa Usuyashiki Iana Shinakia Uachiatia Sukuata Ushudniata Tikiata Ushuata Yanatsitia Ukatiata Ushueta Yasiakiatuata Umatiacha Usua Ushikiata. Everybody may go ahead and take a deep breath in. Breathe in love, breathing in light. Feel that love of the breath travel down the body, all the way down to the toes, bringing loving, positive energy. And breathe it out. Go ahead and take one more big, deep breath into the belly. Breathe it out. Wow. Holy.
Are we coming up to a translation now?
Yeah.
I've asked them very kindly if they would please do that.
Okay. Alright, this is for all of us here in this present space that is going to be receiving. May you allow yourself to mourn and grieve of the parts of your past that are still being held on to. May you allow yourself to sit with the pain, to sit with the anger, sit with the discomfort, sit with the regret, and allow yourself to feel it when it arises. And remember that it's okay to give love to yourself during those times, as you are always bound to authentically express yourself or whatever it is that you may be feeling, or whatever it is that you may be experiencing in that moment. Just know that the source, the creator, gave you permission to experience the full contrast of life to every degree. And it is okay with how you walk your life. Whatever shadows you have, whatever flaws you have, whatever bad decisions you may think are bad, they ultimately end up being good, because it's all the same. Nothing different, but us in different body frames. Shame, shame, shame is what they like to say when we don't need to shame or blame. We have been conditioned and programmed in many different ways. May we be easy on our family. May we be easy on our friends. May we be easy on our enemies that believe that they are. In the end, there is no such thing as an enemy, but just allow them to be free and choose at their own will what they would like to be. If they want to be their enemy, then let it be. It's all temporary anyway. You'll see. Whether it's in this body or after it, it's time for it to go away. You will see one day that we're all one. And we are all our love, even through the good and the bad. We are here together to give each other the support that has been needed for the human race at last. We are doing it. We are doing it now. There is no new earth to come. There is no future to be. We are the rainbow bridge. We are the new earth right now. In this moment, in these vessels, in this holographic matrix universe, where we have projected images of our true spiritual source, essence, that is in the fabric of all that is and shall be and was and could be ever concepted and never even believed. That is who we are. Nothing separate, from the wind to the fire to the water to the trees.
Good job. Thank you, spirits. Thank you.
What a translation.
Thank you. I always make a point before and after to just from my heart, the spirits that participated and helped do that, because it's a formal type of ceremony. It's very, very important to say thank you.
Wow. Oh.
Felt a little energy there, huh?
Yeah. Holy smoke. I feel so... I feel like pure etheric love. Wow. What a message. That was flowing.
I tell you, it was a very good message, and it's, I know everybody who listened to the message was supposed to hear part of it or all of it, because, they know who else plugged in and maybe what they've been thinking and need to hear, which is really, it's very good. It's very good. Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah, you can put that on your page now. You're a translator of the LiGhT language too.
Yeah. Wow. That's what surrendering does.
I remember the first time I heard somebody do that, it kind of frustrated me a little bit, because I wanted to hear what they said so I could understand it, and then when we, had our first encounter with that one, that's when I just, very politely, would you please translate that, because I really want to hear what you said. So it also kind of boils down, if you got, I've learned this too, and I tell people, if there's specific things that you need done informally, with all seriousness, with your heart, ask your spirits that are around you to help you do something or help. They're just waiting for you to ask, you know, and specifically about something. And most of the time they'll either jump in and do something specifically, or they'll, you know, it'll be subtle, or something will be very dramatic that what they'll do.
Yeah.
It's been amazing what I've experienced.
Man.
I was going out to South Dakota last October to go up to Crazy Horse's mountain, because I'd been asked to go up to the mountain by him 3 times. And I was driving, and I got into South Dakota. I was about a third of the way through South Dakota, heading west, driving along by 85, 90. And all of a sudden, across the sky, I get this vision of people, spirits, ancestors, poof, they're there, they're very happy, they're smiling at me, they knew I was coming, and it was, I call them the welcome committee, and it was such that it was the similar experience where your heart just gets filled with this love energy, and your tears come out, and I'm driving along, I'm just hit with this going, holy smokes, folks, and I had to very quickly try to figure out how to slow down and not crash, because I could hardly see the road because the tears were coming out of my eyes, because and the happiness was coming through. Those sorts of experiences, to me, I remember them so much because they're so heartfelt, and there's such an interaction with the spirits, and you just know. I guess that's kind of been a lot of my thought, is, you know, that type of interaction with them, and they come in and do things, and I know they're here every day. I talk to them in the morning and say good morning, and I talk to them at night, say good night, go through a whole list of stuff. Anyway, that's kind of my story. But I love this light language and your translation. I was so happy with that.
Yeah, I'm just...
It was really cool.
I'm still blown away over here. Wow. What a blessing life is, man. What a blessing. Mm-hmm. So, Chuck.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you for everybody out there. What got you into the shamanic path, and what kind of told you that you are a shaman? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I'm an engineer, but
this white guy in Ohio is a shaman. You know, it's not very common to come across, but you are a very, very deeply connected shaman in this lifetime that has bridged and shook hands and met many different beautiful walks of life, from tribe members to elders to wonderful other healers and any energy practitioners.
Yeah. You know what happened with me? I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer, and it's about 11 or 12 years ago, maybe 12, I think, I had a real emotional pit that I went through, relationship breakup and things like that, and I couldn't shake it. And I went to see a psychologist, a holistic psychologist, at the day that one of my Reiki friends said, go see this guy. So I had an event there where during that session, I had this big ball of light come up through my feet, all the way through my body, and just explode out of me. I'd never seen anything like that before. I'd never heard of shamans. I haven't heard of anything like that. I was ESP growing up, but that was the extent, and I was just kind of a normal, happy guy. But this ball of white light went up, and I knew it was hope and it was love. The poor psychologist, Dr. Centeno, for about 15 seconds before that happened, this shape appeared in between him and me, and he saw it because it was shown to him. And it was this big, tall figure, a humanoid figure with, you know, the wing shape, and it was reaching down around me. And Centeno heard it say, I have you, you're not going any further, you're coming back. And that's the point that the big ball of white light went through me. And so that was the event. And I had no idea what that was. And I went to see him every week, and I started reading up things, and there's a Reiki lady there. She got a hold of me real quick, and I started learning what some of the energy was. And so I went through a whole period of time trying to figure this out. I had no idea. I touch people and I electrocute them. Literally. It's like, and I have no idea what that was. Or I'd be on a Reiki table, and the people would be around me, and they'd back up, and they'd look at me funny. They say, all the energy is coming out of you into us. I had no idea what was going on. So anyway, I read and read. Some people talked to us about shamanism, so I started reading books on shamanism and stuff like that. And then I started training with some people around in Seattle. I'd start going with Robin Romero was one of them. She'd been a light school or Four Winds school person, I don't know, 15, 20 years. And I never would accept, I knew there's gifts, but I never ever said, I'm going to be a shaman. I'm going to do this. That's what I am. That's what I am. I was like, I don't know what that is. I'll just figure this out. And it wasn't until after a number of people started telling me, this is what you are. And I still go, no, no, no. And my life partner Sandy and I were in a hot tub one night, and I was just kind of massaging her shoulders. We were looking out over the ocean. And all of a sudden she screams, just this ear-shattering scream, and she was a carpenter. She was a tough lady. And, her biceps were huge. But anyway, she screams, says, stop, stop, stop. And I'm going, what do you mean? I was freaked out. But it was like she was being electrocuted. But what was being told to her was shaman hands, shaman hands, shaman hands. And that's the first realization that I had that there's something going on. And so, a couple of years went by, and she had passed, and some of the people I'd met were telling me this, and I finally accepted it. I guess that's what I am. And, accepted the responsibility of what's involved. So, that's been my path. When Sandy passed, and right away she came back and said, by the way, we got drums to make, so get busy at it. This is what you need to do. And she's been with me all the time. Every day as she works with people, you've met her, and the energy and everything like that. So it's been a phenomenal path for me. I can share that story, especially with her. She's the mother of all the drums, and it's been something else. So that's how I kind of got onto the path. It wasn't anything I was looking for. I had no clue. And so it took a long time before I said, well, okay, I guess I am. But it took a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your journey, and thank you for dedicating yourself to this path and choosing to. It is a choice too. It is a choice.
It's a choice, but the more I understood what it was that they wanted me to do, they want me to make these drums because the drums, when people hold them, whoosh, they're helped immediately, but they also can go help other people. And it's just continuing expanding in the geometric number of how many people more that spirits can reach into and help one-on-one or one-on-many. And that's kind of the main mission of what I was given to do. And I call it getting a new job description. It's like, here, Chuck, this is what you're going to do now. It's serious stuff, and I get so much pleasure out of it, and being so grateful about watching people's response, what happens to them, spirits they meet, accomplishments they have, changes in their lives. I've seen people go through an entire life change within 3 or 4 minutes of sitting with them with a couple of drums. And they go off and they come back, and 10 years of their life just comes together, goes whoosh, and they make a change. And that gets your eyes open when that stuff happens. Just like, holy crap, what just happened here? So,
family members on the other side coming through. There's been a few people that have had family members that are passed over on the other side that have come through drums.
Yeah. Oh, you're yeah. There's the one story about the little girl you were telling about. Did I tell you about that one?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's. I mean, tell it. I guess tell it to people. I guess, but it was early in the days before I'd made these other drums. I just made the bear drum. And I was at a show in Oregon. Yeah, I had my massage table and a little sign, shamanic practice. And this, I don't know, 12, 13-year-old girl came, 10 or 12, came zipping out, finally came out of the crowd, and there was a lot of people. She was right up to me, and she was kind of Down syndrome a little bit, and autistic, but she was really shaking, and she said, "What do you do?" And here's my money. And I went, "Put your money back, just sit down and hold this drum." And I gave her the drum. I said, "Close your eyes." So she closed her eyes, and I was sitting there, and I could feel energies flowing, and I went, "Whoa, something's happening." So she woke up, she kind of had tears, and I asked her what happened. She told me as soon as she closed her eyes, her father walked out of the crowd up to her, followed by her grandfather. The two of them walked up to her, and they had a family meeting. And he was telling her, everything's good, everything's this, that, and the other thing. And she looked at me and she said, "My dad died last week." And that was him coming out to have a connection with his daughter, assure her everything's fine, he's okay, this is what she's going to do with her life. And it's just by holding the drum, the gateway, and whoosh, they came in, and she walked off. She was really happy, and it shocked the crap out of me. The lady next to me in her booth, she just went, I was feeling the whole thing. What the heck happened? It's amazing. I never forget these things.
Yeah, that's just like, golly. That is just so...
I have tears when people go through things like that, because you can feel the energies going around. You realize what they were going through, and sometimes you can see it. And your heart just gets filled with the emotion. You feel it flowing through you, and the tears come out. And it's just a phenomenal experience. It's something I never had heard about as part of what the path is.
What an honor. What an honor.
Yeah. It's like when you do Journey for people, I'm sure you get the same feeling. It's just all this, you want to do more of it because you get so much gratitude and thankfulness for being able to help people.
Well, yeah, that's how I met Rusty, actually. I forgot to mention that earlier. That's how I met Rusty. I was at Serpent Mound here in Ohio, and I was doing a guided meditation, a spirit animal meditation there. And it was a Serpent Mound fall equinox event. And I facilitated a meditation, and Rusty happened to be one of the people that participated. I hadn't met her or spoken to her prior, but she was very patient, and she had a very good experience. It was very healing and very beneficial for her. So she ended up contacting me, and I ended up making her some custom meditations for her and her partner. And then I invited her into the Sacred Kingdom community, which is a community that I host online. And then we had a community meeting, and then Chuck was also added into the community as well. And yeah, that was when we all three had joined together and got together, was during that period.
Well, let me share her journey, because it was really poignant. She made some comment that she had a drum, and she goes down on the river, a specific spot on the local river, and there's a bank, and there's this big tree, old ancient tree, and a lot of its roots has been kind of washed out from underneath it. So she goes to that spot to meditate. It's very peaceful for her. And she made some comment like that. So just before later on in the podcast, I kind of thought, hey, Rusty, you want to take a journey for a second here to see if you can Because she made the comment she had never been able to see the spirits. She knew one was there, but she didn't know who it was. I said, well, let's take a journey, see if we can meet it. And I started drumming. You were there. Everybody closed their eyes. But she went. I guided her right back to her own spot. And as we went through what was going on, I posed a question to her, asked the spirit you're talking about to please make itself known to you so you can become a real team. And she did. I was watching her, and you could tell she was in REM, deep REM, and she was really having an experience. And I don't know, it was about 8 minutes or something before she came out. But she did. That's what happened to her. She could hardly speak, but the spirit materialized in front of her, and then they had kind of this bonding experience for the first time in her life. It's phenomenal when that happens. I just get the input from the other side. Hey, see that lady right there? Why don't you take her on a journey, because we want to talk to her. Okay, I'll take her on a journey, and that's the instructions that I get, basically. It's like, hey, why don't you take this person over here? Hold the drum, I listen to my people all the time. That's kind of what how they guide me.
Truly special.
All my buddies, all my family, my spirit animals, my spirit guides, yeah.
Man, Chuck, I love you, brother.
Appreciate it.
I really do. Man, so grateful right now. So
yeah, I just kind of live by myself, and have for quite a while, but I'm really comfortable with it. It's kind of a peaceful thing because I know I'm not alone, and they're there all the time, and I got things to do, and it's been good. And they'll even take care of you. I'll tell you this story this week, okay? This is what Sandy does to me on a routine basis. So I had a Tuesday appointment in the morning with a dentist to take a look at this tooth back here because they're going to do an implant, and it was ready for the implant. Well, he was in there. He said, this other tooth up here that should have been out a year or two ago, he says, you need to get it out fairly soon because it'll hurt the next tooth. And I went, okay. So I was driving home, and I thought, I gotta make that appointment really soon and get the tooth out. But I better, I gotta stop at the store. So I stopped at the store, and then before I went into the grocery store, it was 3:30, 3:45. I thought, I gotta call the dentist. So I called the dentist, told him what I wanted. Take this tooth out as soon as you can. It wasn't hurting, and lo and behold, somebody had canceled an appointment for the next day at 8:15 in the morning. Doctor had an opening. Otherwise, it would have been mid-March. And I said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 8:15. Hung up the phone. I thought, Sandy, thank you. Because she set that up. She's done things like that for me before. Appointments will all of a sudden materialize. Somebody is supposed to do something. It's happened so many times to me. It's like, thank you, dear. Appreciate that. So I'm in the next morning. Tooth comes out. It's all done. And coincidences are them helping you on your path. That's the way I look at coincidence. Makes you laugh and smile and know that they're watching you and helping a lot. So that's always good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So as we begin to close out and wrap up the space, I would like to touch on a little bit of the type of benefits that you can receive through shamanic energy healing. And
what, like a what? I didn't hear you.
I'd like to touch on some of the benefits that can be received through shamanic energy healing as well as shamanic drum healing. And for a lot of people out there that aren't really sure, why they would get a drum or what exactly drums do for us. Well, energetically, drums are able to create energy waves, and the energy waves that they create through the intentional energy of the person.
Excuse me, it's not just energy waves, it's an entity of its own. It's a living entity just like our souls are. It's a collection. It's different. But I do want to say that it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific object like a drum or anything. You can walk up to somebody, conversation, and say, hey, let's take you on a quick journey. I hear you might need it. Close your eyes, let's go into a meditation place, and it's just vocal when you're speaking with somebody. Or a lot of times, like I just took this bracelet off. This is a Buddha bracelet that's got Om Mani Padme Hum on it, and it's got dorjes. And there's a reason I wear it. But I'll give something like this to people. You can reach on the ground and pick a rock up and say, please hold this and let's take a journey. So the breadth of what I've experienced and learned about helping people on shamanic trips, or just listening to what they're saying, and then your other folks come in and like what you do from a channel standpoint, but you have a conversation, you help them with that. You can give them something as simple as this, just to hold in their hands or put over their heart. If they're laying on the table, I'll put it on their forehead. There's so many different things you can do as an energy healer. Reiki person, a holistic healing person. It's not limited to anything, in my opinion. From what I've seen, many people think they're, we're doing this for God and we have the angels coming in. They are, and I guess that's what I like to share with people these days, is that the spirits are there, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you hold, what you drum, what you have. That's not the total unlocking key. There's tremendous things that you can do in addition when you have your specific sacred tools that really can transcend a lot of things and do more things. But I like to keep things simple. Keeping it simple is keeping it simple. The spirits are there. I think everybody, if they can really get attuned to the intuition of what they're feeling, what they think they need to do, because maybe somebody just said do that, practicing that at the very minimum, so you really get an appreciation that they're all around you, and they know your path, and they know what they need to do to help and what you need to do. Just learning to get intuitively connected to them is such a wonderful thing to start with. It really is. It's very important. As you can see, I'm not just selling drums or anything like that. It's kind of like trying to help people get in contact with their spirit, and have things happen. That's the coolest part.
Well said. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you for Thank you for taking over that. That was wonderful. Thanks for that.
I think it was their fault. I think there's somebody over on this side of the room that's saying, hey, this is what we want you to tell people. Their fault.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Beautiful reminder now. Beautiful reminder that it's universal energy, and it's present everywhere. It's present within us. It's present around us. And there's never any separation from it. The source.
Sometimes it seriously doesn't matter if you pick up something like a spool of thread, and you're talking to somebody and you're holding it. You're treating it with reverence. You're treating it saying, I'm asking, is something that you can touch for this purpose? Because sometimes people really need something to hold. You'll get that input, but it'll work. I mean, it's just astounded me so many times. And I like to tell people that and kind of teach them how to do that and be open to it.
A placebo effect.
No, it's not so much a placebo. It's kind of like realizing that there's so many tools laying around you that not only helps you communicate, it helps the other person get into that sacred contact. because it's something like it transcends just saying, "Oh, here, let me take a journey." But it's like, seriously, if you want, let's do a sacred journey. It could be light conversation, or it can be very serious. But it's just kind of like a physical symbol of the touchstone, maybe for the spirits to come in and be recognized as the spirits where they are, or something like that. It's kind of struggling with how to kind of describe that. I see it, but anyway, there's all sorts of ways that you tend to run into.
Yeah.
And you're seeing somebody because somebody's talking to you right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just, I see that. Somebody's talking to you, or a few people are really giving you some vision.
Just feeling the oh gosh, what's the word? Just feeling the love of the guys, the love of spirit, just feel it filling me up in every second in this live, and yeah, it just feels like there's nothing more than this right now, and it feels really beautiful. Wow.
There's a lady I don't see very many of the notes being written, but there's a cAp, K-A.
Oh yeah. Sarah. She lives in the UK. She's been for sure.
Okay. Well, for the people there, if you want to take 2 or 3 minutes, I'll just start doing drumming. Everybody got to close your eyes, go into a very quiet mode, of a meditative state here in the next 30 seconds. Why don't you bring them into a breath focus, in and out a few times, Marcus, and when you're done with that, then I'll do a quick journey and see what people do.
Sounds good. And then we'll wrap it up for the night.
Okay. So start the breath relaxation. Everybody move into meditation zone.
All right, guys. So everybody here that is present in the space that would like to receive and be a part of this drum medicine and healing space, feel free to go ahead and get comfortable. Grab your crystals, turn your sage or Palo Santo if you like. You can sit or lay down. And if you're going to sit, try to have your back straight so you can support your spine. And if you're laying down, you want to try to have your legs straight so the flow of energy may flow out of your feet. And then have your shoulders relaxed, releasing tension throughout the body. So you may be relaxed, soft, and at ease. So you may be able to flow with your energy and be able to release a lot smooth. And then we're going to focus on the breath. Consciously breathing in through the nose. Drawing the breath down on the body. Breathing out of the mouth. Consciously breathing through the nose. And out of the mouth. Stay with breath. And feel the love going through your body.
Okay, time to come back to reality. Come back to this reality. Quietly, take a deep breath. Bring it in, let it out. Bring it in, let it out. Open your eyes and have a blessed day. Evening. Was it good?
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Short one, but that's good.
Felt,
Although sometimes you get on the other side, it's not necessarily so short. It can be very long.
yeah, it felt like a really, really big instant clearing of my mind, clearing of my headspace.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, good. It's been awfully interesting. Been a fun one. Oh, you're welcome, Sarah.
Welcome, Casey.
Your feet are tingling. I love it. Spirits are giving you a foot massage. That's right.
Yeah, and the drums are really powerful too because based off of their shape and their form, they're able to send off basically sonic waves into your energetic field. And then those sonic waves basically break down blockages, break down densities within your energy field. And it's really good for purging and releasing stored layers, traumas, as well as other imbalances within your energy field. Very, very powerful energetic tool.
It never ceases to amaze me what I get to experience with other people. It's
Oh wow. Sarah said her higher self guided some releasing affirmation whilst you were drumming.
perfect.
How beautiful is that?
Good. Thank you, spirits. Thank you, Sarah's spirit guides that were helping her, all the other ones. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up.
Ooh.
It's getting a little late, and I think it's getting past my bedtime over here.
Yep. All right. Well, most enjoyable, and I have to figure out how to make these a little bigger because I do finding I like to drum for people and have people all wherever they are, just kind of wherever they are, the spirits are going to come in and say, "We got something for you to do." Whoosh! Make your feet tingle. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get some more spaces together, and it'll happen in beautiful divine fashion. And
cool.
I just want to say thank you, Chuck, for being a sacred guest tonight here in the NiGhT CAP as we explore shamanism, and we got to experience the beautiful medicine that you have to deliver for us. And for everybody out there, if anybody would like to purchase a drum or get a created custom drum through Chuck, or would like to receive any Reiki or shamanic energy healing through Chuck as well, you guys can contact Chuck. Where at, Chuck?
It's wakandrums@gmail. Because my website is wakandrums.com, but it's either this Instagram. I don't know if my Instagram shows up here. It's wakandrums45. That's an option, but it's wakandrums@gmail.com. And Wakan is WAKAN drums. It's Sioux for sacred. That's what it is. Lakota for sacred.
Beautiful. And I got that down in the comments for everybody. wakandrums@gmail.com is where you can contact Chuck Wilson, our wonderful shamanic drum making brother and shamanic Reiki practitioner. He is local here in Ohio, but you guys can order long distance online, and you guys can contact Chuck here on Instagram under Wakan Drums 45. That is WAKANDRUMS 45 here on Instagram. And you guys will also be able to watch this SaCrEd LiGhT Community Nightcap Shamanic Vibrations episode here on the replay on SaCrEd LiGhT 33 on Instagram. And you'll also be able to watch it tomorrow on YouTube on SaCrEd LiGhT Healing and Wellness. And if you guys have any questions, just reach out to myself or Chuck regarding shamanic healing, as well as the drums, or if you would like to book a one-on-one service with myself or with Chuck, you may also reach out to us in that fashion as well. Thank you guys all that have been here in the Nightcap space. Thank you to Sarah, to everybody else that's been here in the comments, participating and being part of the live. It's been an honor, and thank you all. Appreciate your efforts, appreciate your energy being exchanged in the space.
Very much so. Thank you.
Any closing?
Blessings, everybody. All right. See you later.
Yep. Chuck, have a good night.
You too.
Wholeness and balanced love, everybody. See you next time.
I can't speak for y'all, but I'm rejoicing that sun. Because that sun, and y'all should be getting as much of it as you possibly can get, because it is putting people online. Spend as much time in that sun as you possibly can. Eat the sun. Eat the sun.
My third eye's open, I can see past the commotion. I can't get lost in the moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My third eye open, I can see past the commotion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I live on the side with the chosen. Higher dimensions we going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Guy done been through enough, I would say. Energy different, the frequency change. My third eye is open, I don't see the same. I am not playing, I don't rap in the game. I am my affirmation manifest. I don't need the fame, I was born with the wealth. They ain't give me nothing, I got it myself. This is that dope and I'm rocking the scales. Channel energy from my life force. Tiger's eye, sunstone and clear course. Raise the vibration, what I'm here for. Connected with my solar plexus, I can feel the source. If I want it, then it's mine, that's a clear choice. Kundalini up the spine as the heat absorbs. Forget the phone with a spaceship and real stars. With a spaceship and real stars. One point in time, I ain't had vision. Then I had a vision. Came back with purpose on the mission. Cosmic energy, astrophysics. In line of my chakras, what a feeling.